Welcome to Hollywood Actions. In this video, we're going to take a haunting journey through the glitter and shadows of the golden age of Hollywood. We'll reveal the emotional and sometimes tragic endings of legendary actors and actresses who once lit up the silver screen, but died alone, neglected, and nearly forgotten by the world they helped shape. This video exposes the heartbreaking reality that even the brightest stars can fade into obscurity. Now let's begin. 1. Barbara Payton. Barbara Payton was a blonde bombshell of the 1950s. With sultry looks and undeniable charisma, she starred opposite James Cagney in Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye and Gregory Peck in Only the Valiant. Her future seemed limitless, but behind the scenes, Payton was battling severe alcoholism and became entangled in abusive relationships, particularly with actor Tom Neal, leading to a notorious Hollywood scandal. She was arrested multiple times, fell into sex work, and struggled with addiction and mental health. Her final years were tragic. 2. Billy Dove. Billy Dove, known as the American Beauty, was a silent film icon and a major star during the 1920s. She was loved for her elegance and soft, ethereal charm, appearing in hits like The Black Pirate and The Painted Angel. Though she retired young, Billy lived a reclusive life in her later years. Her relationship with Howard Hughes was famously passionate, but after her Hollywood days ended, she withdrew completely from the spotlight. Dove passed away in 1997 at the age of 94 in relative anonymity. Despite once being one of the highest-paid actresses of her time. 3. Lupe Velez. Lupe Velez was dubbed the Mexican Spitfire, known for her fiery personality and unforgettable screen presence. She lit up films like Hot Pepper and The Girl from Mexico. Her life, however, was marred by emotional turmoil and an unwanted pregnancy. In 1944, at just 36, Velez took her own life with sleeping pills. Her death was mocked by tabloids, and despite her fame, she was quickly erased from mainstream memory. Her tragic end became more of a Hollywood myth than a moment of mourning. 4. John Bowers. Once a major silent film star who appeared in over 90 films, John Bowers had a handsome face and was considered a matinee idol. However, when talkies arrived, his career vanished almost overnight. He struggled financially and emotionally. In 1936, while trying to visit director Henry Hathaway on Catalina Island to ask for a role, he mysteriously disappeared. Days later, his body washed up on shore. He died alone, reportedly heartbroken over his failed comeback. Forgotten by the industry, his tragic end is believed to have inspired the character of Norman Maine in A Star is Born. 5. Virginia Rappe. Virginia Rappe was a silent film actress and fashion designer whose name became infamous after she died following a party thrown by comedian Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Though Arbuckle was acquitted, the scandal destroyed both of their careers. Rappe died in 1921 at the age of 30 from a ruptured bladder, likely exacerbated by a history of health problems. Though once a rising star, she was mostly remembered for the scandal, not for her talent or work. 6. Allan Rocky Lane. Best known for voicing the iconic horse Mr. Ed, Allan Lane was also a prolific cowboy actor in dozens of B-westerns during the 1940s. When his film career declined, he turned to voice work. However, he never received public credit for voicing Mr. Ed, and his contributions were hidden for decades. Lane died in 1973 from cancer. His death was hardly noted, and his massive contribution to both westerns and television remained largely unacknowledged during his lifetime. 7. Peg Entwistle. Peg Entwistle is perhaps best remembered not for her acting, but for her tragic death. A stage actress who tried to break into films, she appeared in just one movie, 13 Women, 1932. In 1932, depressed by her failing career, she climbed to the H in the Hollywoodland sign and jumped. She was just 24. Her death shocked the city, but Peg's name faded quickly. Only in recent years has her story resurfaced as a haunting reminder of Hollywood's brutal indifference. 8. Troy Donahghue. Troy Donahghue was a heartthrob of the late 1950s and early 60s, starring in hits like A Summer Place. With blonde hair and boyish charm, he was adored by millions. But his fame didn't last. He struggled with alcoholism and financial ruin. Donahghue lived in obscurity for years, reportedly homeless at times. He died in 2001 at the age of 65 following a heart attack, largely forgotten by the public and the industry that once worshipped him. 9. Eric Fleming. Eric Fleming starred in the popular TV series Rawhide alongside Clint Eastwood. He was poised for big things when tragedy struck. While filming a movie in Peru, Fleming drowned during a dangerous river stunt in 1966. He was only 41. The studio buried the story, and no major memorial followed. Despite once being a household name, he died abroad, away from fans, friends, and family, and Hollywood quickly moved on. 10. Thelma Todd. Thelma Todd was a comedic genius, often paired with the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy. She was known for her sparkling wit and glamorous beauty. In 1935, she was found dead in her car from carbon monoxide poisoning. While ruled accidental, theories of foul play swirled. Todd died at just 29. Her cafe was shuttered, her name faded, and the mystery surrounding her death ensured that her legacy was lost in the fog of gossip. 11. Frances Farmer. Frances Farmer was a brilliant actress with a rebellious spirit. She starred in Come and Get It and was admired for her intellect and acting range. But her defiance led to clashes with studios. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, she was institutionalized for years, allegedly abused and forgotten. Though she later tried to revive her career, she lived much of her life in obscurity. 12. Elle Brendel. Elle Brendel was a vaudeville comedian turned film star who specialized in broken English immigrant roles, hugely popular in the early talkie era. But as tastes changed, so did his relevance. By the 1950s, he was living in poverty and working odd jobs. He died in obscurity in 1964. Despite being one of the most bankable comedy stars of the early 1930s,